3 days, you still got energy. Love it. All right, let's keep this thing rolling, shall we? Please, welcome to the stage, Matt Davis and Kenny Davis.
Thank you. What's up, Orlando?
Oh my gosh, you know what, guys? Can we move that? I just feel like I want to see everyone's gorgeous faces. Thank you, love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Hello, darling.
See you.
Good to see you, my love.
It's always a pleasure. We have the joy of running into each other at these things every couple months, which is always a pleasant update, and then we get to do our panels.
Yeah.
And then she usually sings and impresses everyone, then she makes me sing with her, and then I want to shoot myself.
Oh, well, now that you've said it, you know I'm going to have to, right,
Yeah,
guys?
now
Because we all want to hear Matt sing, right?
You really don't.
We can just pretend we're slug drunk.
I'll lip sync.
Do you want-
I'll lip sync a song.
So if I sing, you'll lip sync.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll perform it.
You'll perform it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You let me know. And we'll take requests then and just let me know.
What's new? How you guys doing?
How many of you first time at a convention? Oh,
wow.
look at that.
New
Welcome.
hands.
Welcome, welcome.
What do you think so far?
And what about those who've been here
That
a
side,
few
real
times?
quiet.
That side's yeah. Welcome back. Oh, it's so good to be here.
Yeah. Who did a panel yesterday? How did Trevino do? Was he
always
okay?
a
He was good? What did he talk about? Yeah, sure.
He talked about how much he loved you.
Yes. Lies! Trevino and I text each other about UFOs. He's like, did you see this? I'm like, yes, bro. On it. On it. Who else did a panel yesterday? How did Daniel do?
Daniel.
Who was better, Trevino or Daniel?
This is all good ammunition, right?
I know,
Just
I know.
tease them about that. All that.
Who else did? Daniel, Michael, who else?
David.
David. How was David?
Right.
Good.
How many of you were at the concert last night? That was fun.
How many of you are hungover today? Go to a meeting, young lady.
How are you?
Good.
How's filming going? You know Matt's on a hot new show coming up.
Yes, the show, thank you for asking. Grosse Pointe, Garden Society on NBC. It'll be in the spring, I believe. It's a lot of fun. It's a dark comedy. It's got a great cast. We started shooting 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, Georgia, which has been a lot of fun. I play a police officer.
A very handsome one. I saw the pictures. I
You're
was like,
very
wow. Damn.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. There are no vampires in it. It's surprisingly like, oh wow, this is like real human dramas. I don't have to talk about werewolves.
Is it? We just talked about because so you just started filming, and I just wrapped up finishing season 2 on The Irrational on NBC.
When did you finish?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we just finished wrapping, and
Congratulations.
thank you, love. And the show's just started airing. I think it's 5th episode that it's aired. But we were just talking about this last time, saying how there's no zombies or walkers and I kind of miss it. And then vampires, witches, and wolves from Legacies.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah.
It's like, what? We have to be real people and
It almost makes
real
it
world?
easier.
I know.
It's like I go to work, I'm like, oh, this is easy. This is great. This
Yeah.
is just human relationships. I'm not justifying, all kinds of wild things.
Yes.
It's like if you can make vampires and werewolves work,
Yeah.
you can make anything.
You can make it. Yes, exactly. No magic carpet
Fuck
rides.
Shakespeare. It's just all about vampires and werewolves will make you a brilliant actor.
Just some deep dark secrets. Because I read the script. Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
It's very good.
Yes, it's all about secrets and desires and marriages that are
Yes. crumbling.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a word I was looking for the other day that described it. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back.
But it's secrets and desires.
Yeah, mine's all now like because I play XMI6 opposite Jesse L.
You
Martin.
know these badass parts. You're playing like a spy. You're on
I can't. Well,
Call
now.
of Duty.
Oh, is there any gamer fans here? Have you guys played? So, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has just come out. And you'll see someone who looks very much like me, although a much cooler version than I could ever hope of being, Sev. And she's the new assassin espionage girl on the Rogue Black Ops team. So if you play, you get to play me.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah, it's your one time that you ever get to control me.
I'll show you, Karen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just don't get me killed.
Never.
Never. I'm good.
I'll win the game playing your character.
Yay! I
I'll
like
save the world
that.
playing you.
Yes,
Deal.
I like that. Can we make a good team?
I think so. I think so. You guys have some questions you want to get fired off here? What's up?
Hi.
Hi, my name is Cassie, and I have a request for Matt that you couldn't do last year because of the strike. And I also have a question for Karen. Matt, I loved you in Lone Star State of Mind, and I loved it when you said, "These are my good ones, Earl." Is there a possibility you could say that for us? Do you remember that one?
No. Lone Star State of Mind was a great film. I think it was maybe
You were wearing your,
my cowboy outfit.
not even the cowboy outfit. It was when you guys were working in the garage and stuff, and you got
My
a
overalls
grease.
on.
Yeah.
That's right. I got oil on my overalls.
Uh-huh.
And that's
And
right.
you said,
That's right.
"These are my good ones, Earl."
These are my good ones, Earl.
There you
I got to see the movie again. I played a gay cowboy mechanic
It was awesome.
back in the day. He was a great character. I haven't seen the movie in ages. It was a lot of fun with Josh Jackson.
Yes.
And we had a few other great people in it. That movie, you plucked that out of the back of my mind. I forgot.
I love
He was
it.
in there.
Still love it.
I'm glad. You've inspired me. I have to go back and check it out.
And everybody else watch it. It's amazing.
Lone Star State of Mind, everyone. Classic. I mean, it is now. I mean, it's over 25 years old.
Right?
Yeah, it's so fucking old. Yeah, like I shot this scene. I did something else with another buddy of mine. It's gonna be a surprise. But after shooting it, I was like, oh man, I can't. I've got like 25 years experience. Because you got to show up on set. You're working with new people. You got to make it work real quick. And then I walked by and I'm like, oh man, I feel like it took 25 years for me to kind of figure out what the hell I'm doing. And then I realized it's 25 years.
It
So
goes
Lone
like,
Star State of Mind was like one of my very earliest films, so forgive my performance.
oh, it was
Oh,
amazing. You
Jenny.
did.
It is. How old were you when you booked your first professional gig?
6 years old.
Gosh.
But it was a commercial. It was a fleecy commercial.
Really?
Yes.
That's cute.
I started doing
How about when you were like
commercials.
post-college?
So, my first gig was, I was in the original West End cast of Mamma Mia.
Oh, wow.
So, and when I had just graduated from drama college, and I was waiting tables, as you do, to pay off student debt, and I went up, and I just finished doing like 6 weeks at the Globe, because I had done straight theatre drama, right? And so we had been doing Ibsen and Shakespeare and all this, and all of a sudden I went up for this new musical that was going to be based on ABBA songs. And all my actor friends in college were like, "You're making the biggest mistake. You're going to do a musical, and it's going to be based on ABBA songs." They said it's going to be the biggest flop. And I said, well, waiting tables? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought waiting tables or working with Benny and Bjorn from ABBA.
Yeah.
Waiting tables, Benny Bjorn from ABBA. So I said, I'm going to do that. And we laugh about it because it wasn't a big flop.
Massive hit.
Yeah.
That's so cool. God, what a great first. So did you train at the Globe, or were you doing something else?
So when we graduated from drama college, they chose some of the graduating students to do 6 weeks of a play. So we did Love's Labour's Lost. So I played Rosalind. So it was my first, and
At the Globe.
yeah, at the Globe. And if any of you been to London and been to the Globe Theatre, and it's in the round.
Wow.
And my God, it is no joke. There's no microphones or anything. You have to really project
Wow.
and act with your whole body in the round.
No
So
microphone.
it's so humbling. It's so humbling.
That's so
But
cool.
yeah, So that was my first thing. And then went to do Mamma Mia.
God damn, that's so cool.
That was fun.
Wow.
That was fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Yeah,
love.
that's
And I still know every harmony from Mamma Mia.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Every harmony, every dance move, you name it. I met the Queen when I was doing Mamma Mia.
Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
and I had to work, guys. It was the first time I was meeting the Queen because we were performing at the Royal Variety, and I was playing. So I played one of the best friends, Ali, and I had to wear these hot pants, these short electric blue hot pants. And I said, I'm going to meet the Queen wearing these electric blue hot pants. And you know what she said to me? I was so nervous about curtsying. Can you imagine curtsying in front of the Queen in hot, short, electric blue pants?
You were in character.
Well, yeah, I guess. And she said to me, oh, she said, your pants are very sparkly. She goes, she didn't say pants because pants means something else, but she said your shorts are very sparkly. She goes, you glimmered across the stage. And I said, oh, the Queen, God rest her soul, said that to me. She thought it was cool, the outfit. Yeah. Yeah.
Great story.
That was fun.
Wow.
Sorry, I was digressing. I'm so sorry, love.
It is so okay. I will listen to y'all.
I know, right? My goodness.
Karen, my question, as you know, I loved you from Fear the Walking Dead. How was it working with Lenny/Morgan?
Lenny James. Any Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead fans? Yay! Oh God, Lenny was. You know, I'm very blessed because I get. You become family. You know, working with like Matt's my family. Like I love this man so much because you spend so many long hours together. And you see each other on good days and not so great days, but we're there for each other. And so having, someone like Matt, Lenny, I had Lenny James for 5 years. The first day that I was acting with Lenny, obviously I was a huge fan of his work. And I was so nervous, thank God I was in a hazmat suit. That was my first day on set, was in a hazmat suit, because you could not see my knees literally shaking. Because I just kept saying, oh my God, I'm acting opposite this amazing actor. But he was so kind and so lovely. And I think, when we wrapped, we spent 5 years together. And I was doing actually Legacies at the same time in the beginning when I was going on to Fear Walking Dead. And it's always this bittersweet moment because, like I said, you know the time that we're together is just this short little chapter, and you want to hold on to every second and every moment, and yet you know that it's never going to be quite the same afterwards. On the last day when I wrapped with these guys, when I wrapped with Lenny, I cried. I cried properly because I thought, am I ever gonna have another wonderful scene partner again?
I cried too. I was like, don't leave me.
No, I know. Every time I came back, Matt was like, how long you staying for? Have we got you? But
Don't leave me. These children.
and it's hard to leave. And then, of course, after Lenny, I then got Jesse L. Martin in The Irrational. So I just feel so blessed that I get to work with these wonderful men, not to mention insanely talented and hot too. I mean, I always say this, I get paid to kiss cute guys, okay? And then I get to go home to my husband. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. And if you guys, if you all want to know, Matt's a great kisser. And Lenny is too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, love. Are you turning red?
Hi, my question is for you, Mr. Davis. I was
Mr. Davis, you win.
my question is, did you like playing Lord better in The Vampire Diaries or in Legacies?
Two very different phases of the character. Two very different phases of my life. Two very different experiences overall, each rewarding in their own way, each illuminating in their own way, lessons learned in their own way. If I had to sort of pick, if I had to gun to my head, if I had to pick, I would probably say I had more fun in The Vampire Diaries. I was younger and more foolish, it was fresh and fun and exciting, and we just had such a wonderful chemistry. Legacies was great because I was a little older. We were going through COVID, shooting during COVID, which was a super duper challenge, and I just feel I was older, I'd become a father, and was married, and so just my whole worldview was shifting and changing. And I think Legacies had a lot of interesting episodes. I thought we did a lot of fun stuff that was kind of outside the box. I think it was hard during COVID for us, and I think we were trying to find the voice of the show during that period of time, which was challenging. And I think it was one of the more sort of existential parts of Alaric's journey, as like the headmaster, father, lost soul, and battling the monsters with these kids, which it was interesting, because I joke about working with the younger actors who I love and are wonderful. We had a lot of fun times, a lot of good scenes we did. But I felt kind of isolated. I was a bit older, I was playing the father figure, I was playing the headmaster in the school, and so I felt a little more isolated. And I had just become a father, and there was just a lot of different stuff going on, but it took on a different quality journey for Alaric. Like the last season, he ends up in purgatory, and he's trying to fight his way out of purgatory with the necromancer and Landon. And it just kind of took on just deeper tones, I think, for the character. It was fun to just kind of surrender to the dynamic of Legacies and all the challenges in front of the camera and behind the camera. So I enjoyed it a lot for that. It was I was growing a lot professionally in the Legacies stuff in ways that I wasn't anticipating, because you're playing the same character season after season, and it just takes on a patina and its own sort of qualities that exist outside of yourself, and trying to explore that, keep the character fresh and new, and keep his eyes constantly learning, because the character has to learn too as you're growing and learning along with it, and to keep that fresh and alive over so many seasons. I kind of got to I had this interesting insight too by the time that Legacies ended. The whole acting experience in front of a camera on TV, because I love being on set. I love being on set, and so Vampire Diaries and Legacies has been such a blessing for me as an actor, just to be on set and to grow and to work with so many different amazing people, all working at the same kind of puzzle. And so that's part of this insight I've had, is like the set. The set has existed for 25 years of my life. And it's been with different crews, different cameras, different actors, different directors, but we all meet on set. And to have that journey with one character on set for 13 seasons, going through so much life, was a really special, sort of remarkable experience for me. The fun playfulness was earlier on in Vampire Diaries. The richer, more professional tones and challenges in life happened during Legacies. I don't know if that helps answer your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question.
Hello.
Hi, my question's also for Matt, and kind of piggybacking off of that. Your character on Vampire Diaries went through a lot of changes, from like vampire hunter to vampire to being dead to being back to human again, fathering 2 baby siphon twins. So I'm curious
Not much.
No wonder I'm so tired.
Sorry, spoilers. I know. My curiosity is, which of those characters or versions of Alaric did you enjoy playing the most, or was more fun for you?
That's another great question. Thank you. I love the beginning Alaric. I love Alaric Genesis, like season 1, high school teacher, vampire hunter, on a grudge, revenge kick, trying to kill Damon. I really love trying to kill Damon. I'm sorry I failed. No, I'm kidding. I'm not sorry. It went on to be such a great dynamic between my character and Damon. But I love that initial Genesis story. I think for me, season 2 was kind of where I was like, it took a little bit of a turn that I didn't necessarily connect with. But then it veered into season 3, where he becomes kind of the portal for Klaus. He goes into the big bad. He becomes a vampire. He goes on a tear. And he ends up getting killed, dying at the end of season 3. And so I love season 3. I thought season 3 was really, really special for his journey too. And like if you look at season 1, 2, and 3, as a bit of a tone trilogy for me. I love 1 and I love 3. Initially, I came in just to do a guest star. I was supposed to do like 4 episodes. And then they signed the contract and I did 3. for 3 seasons, if I remember correctly. And then, so I was contractually kind of done at the end of season 3, and I was ready to, at the time I was ready to move on. You know, I was like, okay, let's go back to Los Angeles. And then I did a show that didn't do so well. I did a couple guest spots here and there. But my heart was still with Vampire Diaries. There was still life in the character. They kept asking me to come back and do a couple episodes in season 4 and season 5. And then Julie approached me one day and asked if I'd be interested in season 6, if I'd want to come back. And season 6 was, I think, probably my 3rd favorite season for Alaric. He falls in love with Jo. It looks like it's going to happen. He's had bad luck in love before. He's now she saves his life. You know, he gets in the car accident, if I remember correctly. She reaches into his chest. She's a doctor. She starts to like pump his heart. He comes back to life, and now he's released from being a vampire. He's human again, and this woman has started like, beat his heart again, like squeezing her hand, and he falls in love with her, and he ends up marrying her or proposing to her. She gets pregnant, so he's fathering children with this woman who saved his life and brought him back to his humanity. And then at the very end, they're at the wedding. I'm gonna cry. This fucking scene kills me. I talk about it all the time. It's so traumatic. I remember reading the script. I was like, what? How do I go on from that? How do you go on from that? And so we do the scene where it's like she's pregnant, wedding.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't seen season 6. And she's murdered brutally by her wackadoo brother, Kai. Like, that POS. I'm glad I cut his head off. And welcome back, Chris Wood. Here's my sword. And so I think that for him it was kind of like a break in his psyche, and it was a break in mine playing him too, in the sense that because your heart as the actor takes the ride with the heart of your character, and so every time it's broken, then you have to feel it, and you have to create, not barriers necessarily, but you have to understand the separation. At least in my work, runs parallel, and so here he is, failing in love. He's becoming a father. He's brought back to life. He's going to get married, and then she's brutally murdered. Wedding crasher, nightmare, and then he tries to kill himself afterwards, and the gun won't work, and he can't kill himself, and so the universe has locked him into this trauma and pain forever. Like, he can't escape anymore. And I think that moment when he tries to kill himself and he can't is like sort of like this weird Kafka twist in the narrative for Alaric, where he now has become imprisoned. He's imprisoned in this world, and he's become like this Greek character who's doomed to repeat the cycle of torture over and over and over again. And that's where it became hard for me. So I became slightly disassociated in season 7, because we had to. Candace had gotten pregnant. We wrote this narrative that the twins would jump into, that Candace would become the surrogate and stepmom figure, and that was very hard for me to get my head around as an actor and as the character. Like, it's so far out, so I became slightly disassociated. I think in 7 and 8. Honestly, I don't even really remember much of season 8. And I think it was because I was just so wounded and just kind of like a ghost. And I would pitch ideas, I pitched ideas, and I think they worked with it in Legacies perhaps. But I was like, I would go crazy. Like, that event would make me go crazy as a man. I don't think Alaric could ever be the same ever again, or should be. And I feel like the idea of I would, with the access to information that he does, all the esoteric spells and witchcraft, I'm like, he would definitely be trying to bring her back to life. And so I really pitched this idea of bringing her back to life, but I would be but she wasn't all there, she was just kind of vacant, dead eyes, it's her body.
There was an episode in Legacy.
Yeah, we started to do it, and I wanted to take it on a little bit further. So we play with some of that stuff, and then when the show wrapped up, they asked me to do Legacies, and which seemed a little more wholesome, and it had more of a sense of humor. It seemed a little lighter in tone. and I thought that might be healing for the character, and to see him as a father and a role model, if you will, even though I don't think he was a very good role model in Legacies. But I loved him in season 1 because we're establishing this new chapter in his life. And I really loved the last season in Legacies where he was in purgatory. Because I felt like I was in purgatory personally too. Like I went through fucking hell for the last 10 years. But really like the last 4 years personally on a personal level was very, very challenging. And to see these parallels weaving themselves through your character's journey. I've always maintained that if you play characters long enough, those parallels in your personal life will generally, you'll see them sort of like ping-ponging back and forth. I mean, I have terrible luck when it comes to love. I feel like Alaric, I'm just like, but it's also okay in a sense. Like you take on just an acceptance of the journey, and so it's been a long, ranging journey, and it's also been part of this journey where you're on a hit show right when like social media starts. And so we were one of the few shows, I think, along with like The Walking Dead early on, that were like synergizing hit network television with social media, which then you have to throw that whole new component in. So we're all like growing and figuring out social media in real time with having a platform. And I was just like the Silver Surfer. I was just like trying to cut it up and be crazy and generate attention. And then things start to get hairy, and you're like, oh well, wait a minute, like you gotta just start to manage. It's just one more component to managing your career as an actor. And it's very precarious, and you have to be very cautious. And I think throughout that too, for me, I was dealing with drugs and alcohol and addiction issues the whole time, and still like kind of dealing with it coming out on the other side too. So I would say it's a long way around that fucking lake. Season 1, 3, and 6, and the end of Legacies are my favorite. Alaric.
Thank you. I feel like as a viewer, it was easy to feel that with you as well. I feel like the humanness of your character. So it's cool to see.
Gonna say that.
Yeah, it's cool to see you connect so deeply with your character. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's one of the things that I quickly learned about Matt is that I just love. No, I say this with so much love, because I can now say that I know you, but I love how you share your journey openly with everyone, because you're making a lot of people feel seen that might not have the courage to talk about their plans. I'm very proud of
God, thank you. Very sweet of you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm much better now too. You
Hi
have a
Matt,
question?
hi Karen.
Hi!
Okay, I've got a question for each of you. So for Karen, if you were going to cast Matt as a character on Once Upon a Time, what character would it be?
Prince Charming! I mean, having worked with Matt, knowing how he kisses, Aladdin would have been great. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. I love teasing him, guys. You have to know this. I just love teasing him.
He would have been a good hook.
He would have been.
Yes,
You know what?
yes.
Because Matt's, I mean, if you haven't guessed already, Matt's really, really, really funny. And there'd be so many moments on set, that, especially during our SLAG episode. I keep going back to that because it's one of my favorites. But there's so much that you brought, the levity that you brought to Alaric, but in our scenes together, and I'm like, they need to play up the comedy.
Yeah.
Because if there is no comedy written, Matt finds this magical way of bringing it into a scene. And it makes it so funny. I will never forget, there was this one scene where I was coming back and Dorian is in the hospital, and it was the three of us, and the looks between you and Demetrius were hilarious, because I'm coming in all peeved, what have you gone and done, to make, Dorian end up in the hospital and everything, but the looks between you two, like Matt's got such an expressive face, so that one look could save, 5 pages of exponential dialogue, and is so funny, so yeah, I could totally see him as a hook, because he's cheeky, very cheeky, and very funny, and,
I knocked out a tooth this summer.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
had it replaced with a gold cap.
there you go.
And had my
It's a
daughters
sign.
convinced I was a pirate. I love the gold tooth. That's when I realized I should be a pirate.
And Matt, these guys came from Scotland to see you.
Yes. Hi. How are you guys doing? Hey.
Came all the way from Scotland.
I'm assuming the weather's much better here.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was raining all that.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, welcome, guys.
You had a question for Matt too, right?
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, if Warner and Alaric could give each other advice, what would it be?
Warner and Alaric give each other. I think Alaric would say, don't dump Elle. Marry her. Maybe. But then there wouldn't be a movie. Right? That's what I'm like, without Warner dumping Elle, there's no movie. I had to do it. So, if I didn't do it, it'd be interesting. What would Warner tell
Bear.
He'd probably encourage Alaric to run for mayor. He's like, I think you need to become the mayor. I mean, I know, not a fun answer. Or he could say, I do want to do a crossover. I've made this joke a couple times now. I'll try it again. I want to do like a Legally Blonde Vampire Diaries. We'll call it Legally Blood.
I'd watch that.
That's a bad joke. I'm sorry. I thought it was wrong.
Thank you so much.
Great questions. I'm going to be thinking about this one on the plane home. I'm like, fuck, I could have. Think about that one. What you got over there?
First of all, I just want to say you played a very great and complex character in Vampire Diaries. I know this because I forced several of my ex-boyfriends to watch it with me, and they both liked you, like you were the best in their opinion.
Sorry, fellas.
I was just gonna ask you because I know that you played you were a villain at times, and you kind of had to switch over from being kind of like a lost cause, as you said, lost cause kind of character, alcoholic, trying to be a role model to these two teenagers. You went from that to being like a murderous villain. So I just want to ask, if you played any other character, would you want to play one of the more villainy ones? Would you want to play one of the other main characters?
I would love to be in the originals. I would love to be a character in the originals. I don't know if I could replace anything that anyone else has done. I mean, their work is phenomenal. But I do love the Elijah Klaus brother dynamic. If they had a third brother, it might be a fourth. I'm not too familiar with the mythology. Who's their third brother?
Cole, Finn, and the one that died, and Henry, the one that died by the werewolves.
Oh, yeah. So I'd be the fifth? Klaus the fifth. Klaus Michelson the fifth. That'd be his. I would play Klaus's twin. I would want to do the twin arc. Fraternal. Anyway, I'll
Thank you so
stop
much.
with that joke. Thank you.
Hi. So my first question is for Karen, and then the second one is for both of y'all. Karen, how was it like playing in Once Upon a Time?
Once Upon a Time. Gosh. That, if anyone had told me, especially when I was a kid, that one day I'd play Jasmine, I never would have believed them. I was a really, growing up, and I only share this because if any of you can relate, and if it makes you feel seen, then that makes me happy. But growing up, I had a really bad, I think I told you, I had a really bad acne problem. It was severe. And I'm not talking one or two, I'm talking full face everywhere. And I took Accutane twice. I went to skin clinics galore. It was really bad. And as a kid, you just want to fit in. You just want to be liked and accepted and feel like you belong. But that never quite happened. And I think part of the whole reason why I love singing so much, and I'd go downstairs to the basement and I would sing and I would dance and I would, act with myself and all that, is because it was my way of escapism, where I could just pretend to be someone else who was a lot cooler, I thought, in my mind. And, and I remember, we all grow up with our childhood icons, you know, especially our Disney icons too, right? And we have in our minds of what they shouldn't be like. And I just thought, well, gosh, it would be so nice, you know, to dress up as Jasmine in Halloween, let alone be on Once Upon a Time. And I had no idea, I don't know if any of you, some of you might know this story, but when I went up for the role, I had no idea it was Once Upon a Time. I had no idea that it was for the role of Jasmine, because everything's in code. Everything's in code. So I thought I was going out for a show about Arabian Nights, and the role was for Scheherazade, which is a wonderful story in itself, but they had described her as this warrior princess who was a bit of a tomboy and wasn't afraid to take on, you know, men 10 times her size. And I said, okay, everyone's taller than me, I know what that's like. And so I just, and I am a tomboy, very much so. So I put on my jodhpurs from horse riding, and I still had dried up crusty mud on my horse riding boots. So I just left them on. And I just put on a paisley blouse and tied my hair to the side. And I just finished doing a show called Gallivant. And there was only Gallivant fans. And I just thought, well, you know, there's some correlation in some ways with Isabella, with Jasmine, in the sense that they're both, you know, these warrior princesses. So I just kind of went in there. When I showed up at the audition, there were all this big room full of beautiful girls dressed up in crowns and tiaras and gowns and dresses, and they were all looking at me thinking, ew, what happened? And my mud on my boots, like they were just like, who is this girl walking in? I freaked out. I thought, I clearly got the memo wrong, I thought. And I snuck away into the girls' bathroom, and I just called my agent. I was like, can I go home? Can we reschedule this appointment? And Stephen was like, no, why? I was like, they're all dressed up in gowns. And like their hair is meticulous. And I've come in looking like all muddy and all that. I was like, oh my God. He said, Karen, there's no time. You're just going to have to go. And I was like, oh my God. So I went in, and I'll never forget Veronica, the casting director. She said, do you have any questions? And I said, yes, I couldn't help but notice that all the girls are now dressed up like princesses. I was like, it's not like this role is a princess, right? And I was like, dead silence. And she said, well, it's for the role of Princess Jasmine in Once Upon a Time. I was like, what, come again? And I'm so glad that I only found out in that moment. Because when you, right from a kid, right, you've got it in your mind, and if I had too much time to think about this childlike dream role, I would have been way too nervous. I didn't have any time to let that sit with me. And she said, I was silent for a bit, and I had to pick up my jaw off the floor, because I had this fangirly moment thinking, hey. And she said, are you all right? Yep. Can you start it? Yep. Yep. I'm fine. Just 1 second. So I turned around, and I was like, screwing my face. Oh my God, this is it. And then I turned around, and we did the scene, and then 2 weeks later, I found out I got the role.
Oh, and you did fabulous.
I wanted Jasmine to be very much a people's princess, and growing up in England, Diana was the people's princess, and everyone has in their mind. I knew that this role would be a big announcement, and I didn't take it lightly, because like I said, we all grow up with our ideas of what our Disney icon characters should and shouldn't be like. So I thought, I want to make her accessible. How can we relate to her in today's modern day and age? So for me, it was very much about making her a people's princess, like Diana. So that's what I tried to do. So if the fact that, you loved it and all that just means the world to me. That's the best gift as actors, is when we do our jobs and then you get so much love from you guys, enjoying the show and our characters as much as we had playing the characters. That's the best gift of all.
It's an awesome story. I love that story. It's also funny. It's also a great story too, because how you set yourself apart. I know it's gonna be what a wonderful way to have done that. Really very cool.
I know. I did it by mistake. Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But just goes to show that your gut instinct is to be yourself and to go with what your gut says. That's usually all.
My audition that I booked on this show, I was like, I had to do it on tape, but I was like, I'm playing a cop. I'm gonna have a mustache.
Really?
So I did it with mustache. I don't know if that stood out, but I'm pretty sure there not a lot of guys did the mustache thing. They made me shave it for the show, but
You got it.
I gotta stand out. Not as great as yours.
And then my second question is, what monster do y'all like defeating in Legacies?
Wait, which monster? What?
What monsters did you like defeating in Legacies?
Defeating. I didn't feel like I think the mummy was kind of cool.
Mummy was cool, and I like the gargoyle.
The gargoyle, yeah, the gargoyle.
The gargoyle was,
That was
he
gnarly.
was right?
Yeah, he was scary.
God, he was so tall.
He was turning us all to stone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And just like that moment where he's like scratching his nails on the board, I was like,
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. And the gargoyle one was very good. You're right.
yeah.
You're right.
That
What
was
else did we defeat?
Mummy,
Mummy, gargoyle.
Malivore. we were all like, wait, what is Malivore? That was like an algebraic equation. Like X minus Z equals Y? It's like, what is Malivore? Like just liquid or something that you just get mud.
Big mud hole. Don't go over there. We had a lot though. A lot of fun monsters too.
Yeah. Someone's. Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah, I wish they did a spin-off of the Necromancer. I feel like we
That would have been fun.
Yeah. What side are we on? Over here?
Hi, my name's Chloe, and my question is, how was it performing on Criminal Minds with Matthew Gubler?
Oh, with Matthew. Any Matthew Gubler fans? He's such a sweetheart. Matthew is a big kid at heart. And what I love about Matthew, another good Matthew, he reminds everyone that, you know, it's really important to tap into our inner kid, you know? Because his sense of, and I was talking about this at a meet and greet, his sense of wonder, his curiosity, and his effervescence, his bubbliness is so contagious. He's just so lovely, which made it even harder for me to be so horrible to him in between takes. But I gotta say, this is the first time that I played a psycho, and it was fun. It was so much fun. It's like, I told all my friends who have played baddies before, I'm like, I get it. I really get it. You know, to play a baddie is a lot of fun. But I felt so guilty. Like in between takes, I would hug him. Loads. Him and Kirsten, because I had all my scenes with Kirsten Banks, who's a dear friend. And we just hug it out in between. Because I just thought, how can you be so horrible to these sweetest people? But Matthew is utter joy. Is like, he just lights up a room, and I just love his sense of wonder and curiosity.
I've always wanted to meet him.
Oh, I hope you do. He had a book that came out recently, and he was doing a book tour. And I don't know if you saw on his Instagram and all that, he was driving his car and everything, and he was giving out books randomly to people. It was just so joyous, but that's Matthew. So I hope you do meet him.
Thank you.
Thank you, love. Hi.
Hi, I'm Lexi. My question is for Matt. I was wondering, like, since you were on Legally Blonde, how was it like working with Reese Witherspoon, and if you had any favorite scenes that you worked with her?
Yeah, I mean, I was very young, and I think that was maybe my third or fourth film. I was very green. I had no idea what I was doing or where I was. I'm like, let's go down to Hollywood and give it a shot as an actor. And then kind of stumbled into it, got very lucky, and then booked the part. And at the time, I was a big Reese Witherspoon fan. And she had done a movie, the title of which escaped me right now, but I loved. I thought she was great in it. Took place in Africa, like her parents. It was a great film, and I was a big fan of hers. And another film of hers had just come out, I think with Mark Wahlberg, and it was Fear. That's right. And it was really the first time I realized I had like a really bad inner fanboy that would like come out in the most awkward times. And so like we had the read through for Legally Blonde, and I just fanboyed so hard. I'm like, I love you in these movies. Stumbled over myself, and I could tell she kind of looked at me like, okay, great. And I was just so enamored, and I was in a professional environment I probably shouldn't have been in because I was so young and so fanboy. I'm like, my fanboy thing should have been a red flag for me. But then we get into the shooting of it, and I've never really done much film, so here I am back on set trying to figure out, what's going on. And had a vision of what the character should be. And then I think the very first scene I shot was the breakup scene. I remember driving to a restaurant in Beverly Hills, and they lined us up at the table, and there she was dressed as Elle Woods, and she was fucking Elle Woods, right away. And thank God we shot her coverage first, because I could see what she was doing. I was like, oh fuck, I've got to throw away everything I thought. I immediately saw what the film was going to be, who that character she was about to play was. It was like seeing this iconic character for the very first time emerging on camera for the very first time. And I was like, okay, I don't know what, I'm fucking terrified. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. And I just remember
Definitely
thinking,
the breakup scene was like one of the most iconic scenes.
Yeah,
It was really iconic.
Well, and like to round it up, I think like I just remember thinking like I have to just keep up. If I can just keep up with what she's doing, hopefully it'll work. And so it really just felt like
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
But that's
Thank
the sign
you.
of a true, like, look, as an actor, sometimes we don't know what the other actor, especially when it's the first time, you know, it's like a blind date, you don't know.
Yeah.
And so when you have an actor like that brings it to the table, it's your first time, it's a testament to your skills too as an actor, because then all of a sudden you were like able to let go, and you thought, okay, if that's where it's going, then I'm going to work around that and work with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
the dynamic, because that's how you build stuff. So you were able to do that. Some actors can't do that.
Yeah.
That's when it gets tough. But
Yeah. Well, thank you. It was like you realized, okay, this is gonna be this film, like it's only that
Yeah.
broad,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that was. And then she's just a consummate professional. She was just always like bringing it in every scene and really set the tone. And at the time we were shooting it, no one had any idea. No one had any idea. And it wasn't until like I think it was released maybe 9 months after we shot it that the calls started coming in congratulating us on how well it did. And then yeah, it's just been. I don't know.
you are Warner. You
Yes.
are Warner. And
Well,
I can't
and it was
imagine, you know.
for years early on. I'm like, oh, you're that asshole from the movie. You're that asshole. I was an asshole Warner for a long, long time. So it was fun. But, yeah.
Guys,
Alrighty.
Clapping for us. This never happens. We usually get booed. Oh,
This photo of Paul, by the way, is so handsome. I keep looking over to this picture.
I know.
he's
Paul.
Ian's staring at us.
Yeah, but you guys never take a bad photo. I need to get lessons, honestly.
Look at this one.
They're all good photos.
Thank
Two
you.
amazing people. Matt Davis.